Good morning, children. I welcome you all on today's class. Students, in the previous video, we have seen the use of will and shall. Okay? At the end, I told you that along with the request, we use will. And if there is an offer or some suggestions, then we use shall. Now just see one example of that. Suppose if I say that, will you give me a glass of water? Okay, suppose the sentence is, will you get me a glass of water? Then, here you can see there is a request. And children, as I told you that along with the request, we always use will. Now see one more sentence. Shall I get you a drink? Shall I get you a drink? Now children, what type of sentence is this? This is simply an offer. I am offering you something. Shall I get you this? So if this is offer, then what to write? Here we can use shall because there is an offer. Then, one example of suggestion. Shall we have a pizza tonight? Shall we have a pizza tonight? Suggestion. Okay. So, along with suggestion, what we use shall. Clear? So, if there is request, then forget the first person, second person, third person, simply use will. If there is an offer or suggestion, then again forget first, second and third person and simply use shall. This much is enough for the shall and will. Now children, today we will begin with some more examples of models, and the first one is use of should. Now most of the time children, we have already used this word. You should do it, you should learn, or you should work hard to get good marks. So every time we expect something from you and then only we ask something to do. You should do it. Okay. So according to this, what are the rules of using should? Should can be used with obligations. Now the meaning of obligation, it is an act. It is a course of action that is done by a person and which is the duty of the person. Suppose if I am teaching you, so this is my obligation. This is the act which is my duty. Okay, I am bound to teach you. So this is the obligation, and along with the obligations there is should. So, we should help the poor. It is our duty to help the poor. So, we should help the poor. We should serve our parents. We should serve our nation. So, what are these? What we can write? We should serve our nation. This is a moral duty. This is our obligation. So we can use should. Now, should can be used just to give an advice. For example, you should take milk, not coffee. You should work hard. He should complete his homework on time. So all this is advice. So along with an advice, we can use should. Then along with expectation, he was in the final year of MBBS. He should have become a doctor now. Now children, this is just our expectation. So along with expectation, we can use should. So this is the use of should. Then what is the meaning? The should can be used along with some obligations, with some advice, and at the time of giving some expectations. Now see the next. The next is use of would. Once again children, would is the past tense or past form of will. If you will see in the book, then it is given as would is the past tense of will, and it is used to denote a polite request. And in case of polite request, the sentence is, would you pass the teapot? So it's a request, and this is a polite request. Would you pass the teapot? One more example. Would you please read the report? If we are using the word please, means it's a very polite request. Would you please read the report? So this is about the use of would. Now see one more example. Along with a wish, we can use would. Would that I were the president. So here again, a great wish. I were the president. So with this wish, we can use would. Then frequent activities happening in the past. Clear? On Saturdays, I would run home as early as possible. So this is a frequent activities that generally happen in the past. For that, we can use would. So children, this is all about the use of should and would. Now see some more examples of models. Yes children, now see the use of must. Must can be used with obligation, and it can also be used just to give an advice and for a logical conclusion and prohibition. So this is the use of must. Okay. Now see some examples of must along with obligation. Everyone must love his motherland. Along with advice, the patient is serious. You must take him to the hospital. Then, with conclusion, you have worked a lot. You must be tired. With prohibition, you must not write your name anywhere on the answer sheet. Now children, this is the use of must. With obligation, for advice, conclusion and prohibition. Just to stop something, you must not write your name anywhere on the answer sheet. Then, there is use of ought to. Ought to can also be used with obligation as well as the advice or recommendation. For obligation, you ought to pay your fee in time. And for advice, one example, you ought to start revising for your exams. Okay children. So this is all about the use of should, must and ought. And children, one point you must have noted that in all the three uses, we have used the term obligation as well as advice. So now what is the difference between should, must or ought to? And how you people will understand that where we can use should, where we can use must and where we can use ought to. For this, we have some points. See. Should refers to the person's duties and responsibility. If we see the should, then this should refers to the duties and responsibilities. Okay? And this should signifies the best thing that we can do in that case. if there is a problem or if there is something, then what best we can do? That is should. Understood? That is, we should help the poor. So what best we can do for the poor people? Simple, we can help. So we should help the poor people. So this is the use of should. That should is our duty. This is our responsibility. Whenever, whatever, we can do our best in that situation or in that case. Now, the use of ought to. Once again, we have written the same, that ought to can also be used with the obligation and advice, and see how it can be used. It is used when we talk about a moral duty. Whenever we talk about our moral duty, that is, it is your moral duty to pay your fee in time. So, along with the moral duty, we can use ought to. Then, now see the use of must. Must is used to express the need of the hour. This is used to express need of the hour. That is, anything which is compulsory in that time, in that situation, then we have to use must. So this is used whenever there is a need of the hour, okay, or necessity, which has to be done. Okay, so this is the use of must, ought to, and should. Now, children, few more. The nature of should will be informal. Okay, should can be informally. No need, like simply you should work hard. If we are saying something to someone, you should do it in the right way. You should go to school every day. You should get up early in the morning. So it means simple, in a general sense we are saying these things. And that's why we can say this as, or it is used in the informal sense, but ought to is used in the formal sense, where some duties there, some responsibilities there, we have to use this ought to. Then must is compulsory, so this is the nature of the must is legal. Okay, so this is the nature, and this is their use, and these are the words. That is, all these are the models. Okay, so what is the nature of the should? Nature of the should may be informal. For ought to, it will be formal, and for must, because it is compulsory, this is the necessity of the hour that must be done, and that's why we can call it as a legal. Now, degree of emphasis. Degree of emphasis. We emphasize something, okay, we pressurize something. So, the degree of emphasis, by saying a sentence, what is the pressure of my words? If I say that you should get up early in the morning, it means I am simply telling you this thing, children, that you all should get up early in the morning. I am not pressurizing you. Okay, so what is here? The emphasis, my emphasis on the sentence is very less. Okay, but if I say that you ought to get up early in the morning, it means I am pressurizing you. Okay, I am forcing you that you all ought to get up early in the morning. So what is this? What is the degree of emphasis? This is comparatively high in comparison to the should. So should is a normal sentence, and ought to, we are pressurizing something to do that duty. And if we say that you must get up early in the morning to study. It means I am 100% forcing you. I am telling you that this is your duty, this is your responsibility, and this is the necessity of the hour that you should get up. You must get up early in the morning for your studies. So here the degree of emphasis will be the highest. So this must shows that something is 101% sure to do, and in between or to, and if we are saying something to do in that particular case, then there we will use the should. So this is all about the use of should, must and ought to. Okay, now we will see the use of used to, dare and need. Now see, used to. Used to indicate habitual action in the past. Simple sentence, children. I used to play cricket when I was young. I used to play football when I was young. So this was my habit when I was young. So in a habitual action that generally people do, then in that case we can use used to. So the sentence says, I used to play cricket when I was young. Okay, he used to go to the market whenever he gets time. So it means again something is habitual. It is a habit. Then we can use used to. Then one more. Used to can be used with state of a thing that existed in the past. State of a thing that existed in the past but now it is not there. So there used to be a hotel here 10 years ago. Now there is no hotel, but 10 years ago there was. So there used to be a hotel here 10 years ago. So this is the existence in the past. Okay, so this is the use of used to. Now dare, the meaning of dare you know very well. Okay, you must be playing truth and dare. So see the dare where we can use. I do not know how he dares to say all that. How he dares to say all that. One more sentence. How dare you to disobey your parents? How dare you? Okay, so this is the use of dare. Now, one more. Use of need. Need is used to indicate obligation or necessity. Once again, children, obligation or necessity. But that too, according to the situation, in that present scenario, in that present atmosphere, we can use the need. You need not to do sums now. Do it later. So at present, no need to do the sums. So again, obligation, duty. Okay, but that duty is for a very short time in the present time. So need not to do the sums now. Only you do it later. One more. Need I remind you of your promise? So again, there is the use of need. So this is all about the models, children. Now you go through all these rules, you learn them, and accordingly you all have to solve the exercises. Okay? In the next part of the video, we'll start with the next chapter. Thank you.